of South Africa, your time is now. You are not just the future, you are the force that can change this country right now. You are the millions sitting in classrooms with no teachers. You are the graduates with no jobs. You are the hustlers, the dreamers, the fighters, and they want you silent. But time for silence is over. The ballot is your weapon. Registering to vote is the first act of defiance. Here's how you do it. Go to www.elections.org.za on your phone or computer. Click Register Online. Enter your ID number and home address, where you live and where you'll vote. Confirm your voting station and boom, you're registered to vote. Don't have internet? No problem. Go to your local IEC office or voter registration station with your green ID book or smart card and register in person. History is made by the brave. Register to vote. Stand up and be counted. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast here at the EFF at our offices at Winnie Madikizela Mandela House. My name is Lebogang Mushapilu, and I'm the editor in the communications department here. We have a very special guest with us today as we are celebrating Women's Month. And we all know the history of Women's Month is that on the 9th of August, 20,000 women marched to the union buildings to fight against past laws during apartheid. It was a very important fight. And this is why we decided to have our special guest here today as we feature a woman in politics and a woman who fights within the EFF. I have Bridget Tusi, our EFF MMC in the city of Ekurhuleni, and I'm excited to have you here. Welcome.
Great. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here at Winnie Madikizela Mandela House. Greetings to all your viewers. And yeah, thank you for the welcome and the invite.
Of course. Bridget, you are the MMC for social development, community development.
Community services.
Okay. The MMC for community services,
Yes.
focusing on health and social development.
Yes.
But you have an additional 2 portfolios that you're working within.
Sports, recreation, arts and culture. And recently what has been added was parks and cemeteries as well.
Okay.
So my portfolio is quite broad, yes.
It is quite broad. And how long have you been been in this position? 3 years, you said?
3 years, yes.
Oh, wow. How have you been finding the experience?
It's been challenging, to be honest with you, because the portfolio where I'm at right now, health and social development, is an unfunded mandate. So that means that the clinics were actually supposed to be run by province with the funds provided by province, but currently province is not providing any funding for the clinics. And the city is saying that, but this is, the treasury said to the city, this is not your mandate as a municipality, so why are you running, funding the clinics? So we are caught in a situation where province is not taking over the clinics that they said they would take over, and our clinics are short-staffed because province is not looking after their mandate. So it has been challenging in that end. And as well as in terms of sports, recreation, arts and culture. Now, because we are not a revenue generating department, they focus mainly when there's problems with sewers and electricity, waste, water. Those are generating revenue generating departments. So when the funds come, as the city has been going through financial constraints, when the funds come, then you go directly to those departments. So we as SHREC are right at the bottom of the list in terms of budget. So it hasn't been easy in that aspect, as well as to find yourself mainly in an environment that is dominated by males.
Yes, let's talk about it. Women in politics. I mean, we all know that women are very capable leaders. And
Yeah.
especially in these kinds of situations, you always try to find ways to serve in the best way that you can. But, it's not easy being one of few women within, like you said, a male-dominated area. What has been your experience within politics as a woman?
Within politics, it's been tough. You have to work 10 times as hard as the male because you are a female. Look at the only national has got it right in terms of having women in the top 5, CCT.
Yes.
In the top 6, well, there's 3
Yes,
males and
then
3 females.
women,
Yeah.
yes.
But then you come to Gauteng and then you find that there's 4 males and the female occupies the position of a treasure, And then you find some other regions where it's all 5 males in the top. So it means that then we women are not trusted enough to lead. But then my concern becomes that because most of the time, 60% of the women there, of the delegates are women.
Okay.
So it means that women don't even trust other women.
So this is what we're talking about within the EFF.
Yeah, within
so
the EFF,
60% of the delegates, and the delegates are the ones that vote in the leadership.
Yes.
So there's 60% women, but it's not being reflected within the leadership.
No.
To say that even women are not voting other women in enough.
Yes.
What do you think is the reason behind this?
Personally, I think it comes a long way. When a child is born and a child is a male, celebrated, well, it's going to carry on the family legacy. And a woman, well, you're going to get married someday and take some other guy's surname. So as children, women and men are not treated the same. And as a child grows up, a girl child grows up and watches how the mother is treated by the father, then they start to see that as a pattern that the man is the one who must be adored, admired, respected, and all that. So, and as they grow with that in that mentality, it's difficult for them now when they come to a space that they are strong women, they are capable women, but because of the way that they were raised, the way they grew up, and what they've seen in their surroundings, they become sort of hesitant to trust a woman. And secondly, we as women, we don't love each other. We don't love each other enough. I'm not saying all women, but some women, instead of us leaning on each other, then you find me as a competition. Why Bridget? Why not me? Why this one? Why that one? Whereas if we stood together as women, we could easily change the outcome of the conferences. Because as I say, 60% of the delegates on most conferences are women. Yeah.
This is interesting to say that we are all socialized under the same system of patriarchy. So it makes sense then that women would also then begin to espouse those same things where they trust men more, they see men more as leaders than as women, or even themselves. So I want to know a bit maybe about your background. You were socialized in the same system, or how did you break free from those beliefs? Or maybe how were you raised, or at what stage or what happened in your life that made you say, no, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to be this kind of woman and I'm going to lead?
I was raised by a single parent.
Okay, so you were not in a household where the man was the leader.
The conventional household. No, I was raised by my mother and there's my older sister. So there's 3 of us. So, and my mother always told us that you can be and do whatever you set your mind to it. So that on its own, made me the confident person that I am today, the go-getter that I am today. So I like I said, I think the way you are raised goes a long way. That's why I actually even like what we've got in our elections manifesto 2024, where we say we start gender training at school level, every level of school. Then at least by then you give the woman confidence. You tell the girl child that your sister is not your enemy, So when you start grooming them at a young age, then the next generation, I think they're going to be the lucky one. But even now, as we've had our sub-regional People's Assembly, we've launched 4 sub-regions in Ekurhuleni. I'm happy to say that at least 2 of those sub-regions, they've elected females as secretaries.
Okay.
But my challenge still is that why is it all of them? It's 2 males. It's 2 males. No, the other 2 are treasurers.
Okay.
But the bottom line is it's still 2 males and 1 female.
Oh, okay.
So though we are slowly, surely, but surely going to get to a point where women learn to trust other women to lead. Yes.
So take me back to Bridget as a young girl in school, in community. And what were you like, and what were the things you enjoyed, and what inspired you, what drove you, and who did you want to be?
Sure. I went to a boarding school in Swaziland. Unfortunately, I was one of the fortunate few when the riot started, so I'm going to reveal my age now. When the riot started, I went to Immaculata. They used to call it Immaculata in Diepkloof.
Okay.
It was one of the schools that was really not affected by riots.
This is the 1976?
Well, in the early 80s.
Early 80s,
yeah.
okay.
So when my mother saw that, no, they're starting to disrupt the school, she took my sister and I to a boarding school in Swaziland.
Mm-hmm.
So that was quite an eye-opener because it was a Catholic boarding school
Mm-hmm.
and used to be surrounded by women and women started following me around, not because at the time I was something special, but purely for the fact that I was from Joburg.
Oh, okay. So they found you interesting. They're like, this one. So already you were attracting people around you.
Yeah, and when I came back here, it was, that term ends in September, and it was like, oh, what am I going to do now? I wanted to go and study ICT, work in computers. It was called then Technikon Witwatersrand.
Yes.
But it's UJ now. But I could not find any space there, so I ended up in company administration.
Okay.
And it was good. I did it cum laude, and after that, I went on a training program with Absa Bank, where they now train you in all aspects of banking. That was quite an eye opener as well, because most of the documents, some of them were in Afrikaans. And as somebody who went to school in Swaziland, I did not know Afrikaans. So I said to my colleagues, you know what? As time went on, you can speak to me in Afrikaans and I'll respond to you in English. But eventually I ended up in the motor industry, right? Where I was working for, I was a finance manager.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to say the name now,
Okay.
but for high-priced German vehicles.
All right, nice.
So when you want your finance, then you come to me,
Yes.
And when we used to get our kickback in terms of how much rate did I sell you as a person, and I used to make a lot of money there, but I started not sleeping at night now, because when you go to a black person and you tell them that your rate, at the time prime rate was 9%, and then the rate I would give is, because the higher the rate that
The
we
more
charge,
money that
the
you
more
get.
money that I get as a person and as a dealership. So we were always forced to increase this. Yes. So as a black person, I tell you that your interest rate is 17% fixed. You're just happy that your car is financed. Whereas a white person would say, oh no, I'm going to go to my personal banker. I can get primeless too. So I found that the system was more exploiting
black people and black people who are already struggling.
Yeah. So I could not be a part of the job. I left that job without anything in the background, because I could not.
Your conscience was
not
allowing you.
Yeah, it was not allowing me to carry on with that, because I mean, when you look at the system, even till today, it's still like that, where the black people are exploited because of the sort of lack of education when it comes to finance, and in terms of, you can always try another bank, you can always try another dealership,
That
So,
you can weigh your options and negotiate
and say, no, I'm not going to accept that. I know my story, but I'm sure that because this was more than 15 years ago, so maybe a lot of black people have become more conscious in terms of what they deserve. Yes.
I think it still is a struggle, because I think we've written about this and talked about this even in Parliament, where like lending rates, interest rates on houses, on mortgages for black people are significantly higher than they are for white people. And I think a lot of studies had been done about how banks are still taking advantage of black people.
Yes. What happened to me one time when I was still in that Lena Finance Banker program, where I was going from department to department, I made an error. I captured a person as white. And then white, it gave it as an approval category 1. But when I went back and changed
You
it
to
as
black.
to
With the
black,
same
with the same,
statistics.
everything is the same.
Oh,
Just
my
the race
word.
black, it was declined 7. So you see how the system is really not for.
It's rigged against black people.
Yes, yes.
So and it's interesting because like we are the ones with a history of dispossession.
Yes.
We are the ones who need the backup to also rise.
Yes.
But essentially the system is saying that even though we are independent and we're a democracy, the system still remains to bring black people down.
Whilst it's still their hands, yes, unfortunately, that's the case. That's how it's going to be, not unless we
do
change
something about it.
As the EFF is our only hope. So after that, I left without a job. I stayed without a job for a while. I started trying my own business. I tried, I'm very good at cooking, so I got a trailer.
Oh, wow.
Mobile kitchen, so to speak. Yeah. I tried that. It did not work for me. And then I tried recycling of copper cables. And then whilst we were still in planning stages, I found out with these people who were actually planning to steal those copper cables. I said, no, sorry.
it does sound like a dangerous business. I don't know.
Yeah, way back then I had registered companies. I had this ambition that, you know what, I'm a woman, I can stand on my own 2 feet, and then I can start a business. And then it was not until I started listening to CIC speak about EFF. You know, I had never belonged to any political party then.
Really?
I was a voter. I voted once for the ANC back then. But then when I really saw that they were not for us, you know, they were more for themselves and those around them. So that was the last time I voted for them. So when I saw CIC speaking about the EFF, the cardinal pillars, I just loved the EFF and what it stood for, because it stood for black people.
Yes.
It stood for the empowerment, economic empowerment of our people. And I said, no, I've got to be a part of this. Wow. You know, and that's how I came to, that's why I looked for it. And then eventually when I found it, I joined the EFF, and I've never looked back ever since.
You haven't looked back?
No.
Could you have imagined that you would be in politics?
No, I would never have dreamed of it.
Does anyone, I can imagine maybe even your family, your mom. What did your mom say when you became active within the EFF?
My aunt said, well, if there was anyone in the family, back then, but now they're EFF voters and all members. My aunt says, if there was anyone to join EFF, it would be her. Because at that time, when it first started, remember, we were seen as the radical ones and all
definitely.
that. So, but they're happy that I've made the move because they see what we stand for, you know. My mother gets scared at times because of the politics in terms of council. You know, and when she saw that there was an auditor that was killed, she was like, please be careful. Don't investigate things that you're not supposed to, you know, as a parent would be,
Do you experience, you know, like extreme situations as a woman within that space?
Yeah. I try not to be afraid. I believe that once you let fear enter you, then you have already doomed yourself for failure because you are always afraid. So whatever I do confidently. So I try not to be afraid, even though sometimes I'm looking at something that might actually even putting my life at risk. At the end of the day, I say it's God's will and my ancestors' will. If it's my time to go, it is. But right must be right, and all the wrongs must be righted regardless. Yeah.
Because within Ekurhuleni, it's a coalition.
Yes.
It's a coalition government.
Yes.
So you're working with many people from different parties, and there are competing interests.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you manage those?
Yeah. It's difficult because, you know, when they are a majority and you are a minority, then obviously their word goes, you know. So you can work as much as hard as you can, and the minute you get there to invent with the red overall, and they'll try and edit you out of the pictures, and you have to find a way to fight.
Fighting to be in the picture.
Yeah. So, but we manage it. We fight as much as we could to be recognized, to be taken seriously, and for our work, most importantly, to speak for itself, because we are giving it our all. And in the streets, wherever I go, people will say, even the officials themselves that I work with, they'll say to me, you know what, we have never had an MMC like you who is on the ground, who loves the people, who goes out of her way to always help the people. So when I hear that, then at least I know that, you know what, I'm not failing myself and I'm not failing my organization. And that really just brings joy to me. And as I'm late, as I'm late today because you had wanted the appointment at 10 o'clock,
Yes.
and I said I couldn't. There's a lady in Tembisa. She's running an NPO. If we were to go there, you would cry because she's taking care of all the disabled children. Now she's got a problem with zoning. She's phoned everybody everywhere until somebody said to her, you know what, phone this woman, you know. And I had called now all stakeholders, city planning, real estate, for us to sort out. That's why I could not postpone to.
Yes.
And she was in tears today. She says, you know what, thank you so much for your help. So for me, for somebody to come and say, you know what, thank you so much, then it fulfills me. I mean, there was another lady, and most of these are ladies, you know, that have been struggling.
Yes.
She opened a house for abused, neglected, raped children, you know, a home in Vosloorus. And since 2017, she's been struggling to get funding from the Gauteng Department of Social Development. And the person at the time said to her, you know what, give me 10,000, otherwise I'll ensure that you never get a cent.
Oh my word!
So she's
And
been
this is a
struggling.
woman who's actually
working. She's working. You know, her place is clean. I went there so many times. It's neat. You know, I said to her, you know what, relax. Don't worry. I will sort it out for you. You know, last year in August, it took me about 6 months because they were also sending me from pillar to post. And I said, I'm not going to stop until
it happens.
The woman is assisted, you know. And she was assisted and she was like so grateful. So for me to actually add that value, it's fulfilling, you know, and it also saying to the people that, you know what, EFF is out there to help us, you know. And the lady was saying that, you know, I've told everybody, they've changed their uniform color to red.
I enjoy this. You know, we've been working here on a documentary series, a docu-series.
Yeah.
For the 12th anniversary.
Yeah.
Where we're going to each province to capture the stories of what EFF has done on the ground. I think a lot of people only know the EFF on a national level.
Yeah.
Or when we speak or rallies, there's people really forget that the EFF is a grassroots organization.
Yes.
The people that do the work are on the ground and in communities and are assisting people.
Yes.
And the number of stories I hear, simple everyday stories and simple everyday struggles where the EFF leaders come in.
Yeah.
So I want to know what is your experience of Ekurhuleni as a city? What are you seeing and encountering on the ground? What are the main stories and what needs to be done?
The main stories, well, firstly is the health issue that the clinic issue.
Yes,
that needs to be
you mentioned
taken
that,
care of, because you know, a granny start queuing for clinics at 4 o'clock in the morning, winter or summer, because then at least the earlier you get there, the better. So for us to be able to sort out that unfunded mandate, which I've tried, I've spoken to the mayor, spoken to the MEC, I've asked somebody to speak to the premier, but nothing has happened.
How does it even get to the point where clinics are not funded?
And the worst part is that Department of Health returned some money to the treasury unspent.
Yes.
So why was it not brought to the people where it needs, that need it? And then secondly, we've got a lot of ECDs, early childhood development centers, that are not receiving funding from the government because sometimes it's where they're situated or the space is not enough, you know. So we need to look at bylaws and amend bylaws in a way that will assist them. And luckily, I did a ECD forum, which was heavily attended. I did it in 3 regions, North, East, and South, all the regions. and a total of about 572 ECD owners attended
Wow.
the. So it was very successful.
That's quite a reach,
And
yes.
and then we told them about policy. We told them about how to go about to access the documentation. We also invited the Department of Education, so that because it has been moved to there, so that they can access funding. Yes. Because the more they access funding, then the lives of the children
Are much
are much better, and the lives of the owner, which in 90%, 99% of the time is women, gets better. So and luckily as well, they've changed the bylaw, where if you're in settlement and declared in informal settlement, then you can still have your ACD there. So for me, it would be great for all the ECDs to actually be funded and receive funding. So those are the challenges that are facing women. And then the worst of all is gender-based violence.
Yes, I think our country has a problem.
We've got a problem. We've got a serious problem. And then you get to a shelter, and the shelter gives you a 6 weeks stay there. After that, then you have to go away. Most of the women find themselves back in the hands of
the abuser, because they have nowhere to go.
Yes. So we have worked out a plan. We drafted it. We've the only place that has got it now is Western Cape. So it does not exist anywhere in
South Africa, in Gauteng. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is that? So what does that look like?
No, but I must say this, that it's an EFF initiative.
All right.
Our initiative with the lady from social development.
Okay.
Where we now have got a second stage shelter, so that when you leave that first stage, if you've got no place to go, then you've got a shelter to go with your kids. You stay there as long as you want until you find yourself alternative accommodation.
Yes.
You know, so if we could have one in every region, then it will really make a difference, because half the time people go back because they've got nowhere else, and that's where they die, you know. So
it is. I think your chances of dying increase when you leave. If you leave, like it becomes a more tenuous situation.
Yeah.
That if you go back, or if he finds you, you are more likely to die that time.
Yeah. And when it comes to that as well, what I normally say to my friends and those around me, that the first time he slaps you, you must leave, because once he starts, he's never going to stop. He is never going. So that first slap is a sign for you that this relationship is not me. Take your things and go. Because from there on, you are going to be, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. It will get to kicks and fists and all those things.
It escalates.
Yeah.
Why do you think women stay after that first slap, or after? Why do you think women stay?
It depends on what we want. We all want different things out of a relationship. Others is emotional attachment. Others is financial attachment. Others is I'd rather stay here than be alone. You know, so everybody has got their reason. I don't think it's just the one reason. It's many reasons for people to stay. Others, maybe they've got nowhere to go. So each case is it must be viewed on its own merit.
On its own.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is. Yeah. Perhaps it is an unfair question to be asking them, as if they're responsible for it. Yeah. But I think I wanted to find out what kind of interventions we can have geared towards supporting women to a point where, if anything like that happens, they choose not to. They can leave. Which is why I think the initiatives of the first and second stage shelters are important for women to know that I actually don't have to stay.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what I said earlier on, that something that is in our election manifesto 2024, where we start speaking to children about these things at a very young age. You know, because when you start learning and understanding from a young age, then you would know that I'm a science with it. This is what at school they were saying, and then you get out. For some of them, I suppose I can never say it's too late, but it's hard because they're already within.
Yes.
And you find that somebody is in this a stable not stable relation, but stable house with enough income. She's a housewife. has never worked a day in her life, and if she's never saved anything, so if she were to leave, where would she go? You know, so to look at those circumstances and say, how do you now encourage this woman to say, okay, fine, come to our shelter? Because what I said, what we need to have in those shelters as well is skills development,
Yes.
where we can teach them to make their own bread. They teach them to do needlework or whatever, prepare them for interviews, have people come and make them attend ICT classes. It's going to be
So
brought
to
give them,
capacitate them to be able to take care of
able
themselves.
Yes.
It's important. I like that you go back to what the EFF says in the manifesto towards education.
Yes.
And educating children at a young age about the right way to behave towards each other, the right ways to treat each other as men and women, what is correct, what isn't, what is acceptable and what isn't. And it's scary because, I mean, I don't know if there was a video circulating on social media of this young woman being slapped by this boy there was a school, there were school children. And I think it was in a school bus, and then in several other situations as well, where it was a clear case of bullying and on this young girl, and you can tell this is a young man. I think they're teenagers at this point, and it's scary to see because there's also been many cases of young girls within schools being raped or even some killed by their male counterparts at that high school level, which is a very scary thing to think about. That they are already learning these patterns so early on that by the time they're teenagers, it's so far gone that they understand that it's normal for this level of gender-based violence to exist. And it's actually a very scary thing for our society.
Yeah, it's a very scary thing. Hence, if people really voted for EFF, that they can actually see the difference that we can make, because then we will start speaking about these things at a very young age. And it's once a mind is groomed and in a certain way, it's very hard to change.
Stop,
So if you tell them at a very young age that what, it's wrong, 1, 2, 3 is wrong, and all that, it would definitely change a million lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, I wonder if with the way our justice system is set up, our policing system is set up, these both young men and young women watch perpetrators get away with these crimes.
It's terrible. I've been involved in a lot of these cases, and I it's terrible. You find this big fat man who is handling this case of this girl who's saying he's raped, and he's taking it as if it's nothing. What is she complaining about? And the next thing, the case file is missing, and we have to open the case all over again. And I was very active in driving back and forth to the police station to ensure that the perpetrator sees the jail cells. So we need to really, really change the system in that regard. And as the EFF manifesto states, that you employ people that are actually even passionate about that job, because most of those people that are there, they don't even care.
No.
There was another one when I walked in there, I don't even drink anymore, and says to me, Esh, it was a Monday morning, and I'm there to discuss a serious case that they have not even taken seriously.
Oh my word.
So they need to change all those people and put people that are going to have empathy towards the victims, because when sometimes you find that there's a victims stop even pursuing it because of the person that they find there every time they come to report or follow up on their case. Yeah.
And when we're looking at this in terms of especially cases of rape, sexual assault, the clinics are important in with the way these cases are dealt with. Because there's a process, right? That you must be able to access a clinic in order to get a rape kit or whatever kind of assistance and evidence collection as well. What interventions are needed on that level?
Most of those ones happen because most of these happen at night and all that, so actually access most of our provincial clinics
Okay.
and hospitals, so it's
All
not
right.
something that we've
The
got
city.
direct contact on. Yeah, but what I went to a clinic, our clinic, day before yesterday, and young girls are scared to go to the clinic for preventing for sexual health, or because we almost hlangana with the neighbor at when I saw her prevent the minds,
Exactly.
so we are looking to get them a separate space within the clinic where they can go and be comfortable and with their peers, so it's peer to peer, speaking
Yes.
in the same language, because you're the same age as me. East is doing it very well, so we're trying to implement it here as well as in the no, sorry, not here, in the north and in the south, in Ekurhuleni, where it's peer to peer, speaking to peers about everything, and then in a more relaxed setup, and where it's all
And
even
not
the people,
fear-based.
yes,
And
not fear,
with no embarrassment, with no shame.
yes,
Because those are the things that stop them from actually seeking help.
Yeah. We've got the 1.1 million campaign, where 1.1 million people that are HIV positive are not on ARVs. In the
That
whole
is a huge.
in the whole of South Africa, yes. Us as a Ekurhuleni, we've got 90,000. We've found 29,000, and then some of them you find that it's people that have actually were born with it, and they're now scared to go to the clinic because of the stigma that is attached to it. So when we've got their room separate from the clinic, like it's a garage, we've got many clinics with garage where they use the storerooms. I said no, they must start clearing those storerooms out, and then it's going to be that for young be used for young people specifically, with a person from TICO, which is an institution that is dealing with youth in terms of sexual reproductive health, and I'm excited about that project that I've undertaken.
Yes, I think honestly, I think it's an incredible project.
Yeah,
because one of the leading causes of transmission is that people are not getting tested.
yeah,
And those that are positive, are, the shame and stigma behind getting medication, when this is a treatable disease. Like, you can live a long life. We are gone from those days where it was incredibly life-threatening. People have beautiful long lives living on medication of HIV.
yeah.
But I think it's important for young people, because I know that the highest rates of increasing infections is amongst young people, and young women are usually more vulnerable, because they're targeted a lot by older men and that kind of thing. So for young women to have the space and opportunity to take care of their own health, to have agency, is important. So for you to create spaces like that, I think that is wonderful.
I'm loving the project. Yes, I'm loving the project that we've planned to undertake in terms of young women, and it's 95 people. The campaign is that 95 people must be, or know their status. 95 people on with HIV must be. Okay, we must find them first. 95 must find 95%.
Okay, and what's the time period?
95% until it's a year. Started in February, February next year. Yeah.
So within the year, 95.
We must find 95% of people that were diagnosed positive, and then 95% of the people that were diagnosed must be on ARVs, and then 95% of the people on ARVs, it must be so suppressant in their system that they're unable
it's not detectable.
Yes. So that is the as a Ekurhuleni, we are currently sitting on 29,000. So.
Okay.
It can't. I'm not kind of happy, because it's like almost the end of the year.
And it's not half.
It's hard. People move addresses. People change.
So for you to keep track of
for him we send people outside every time to try and find them.
Okay. So I would like to know, how do you find these people?
We've got our ward-based outreach program where they go out and they try and look for these people.
Okay.
Yeah. Others, well, luckily enough, when they come to clinic for other reasons, then we detect that, hey, you're one of those that had absconded way back, put
Come
them
back,
through.
yes.
Yeah. And what we've done is that we've actually even approached a Clicks and what's the one of ShopRite? I forget the way they sell medication.
This game.
No. The one at
It's
ShopRite.
ShopRite.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Medimart or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know that one.
So we say that if you do not want to come to the clinic, we send your medication there.
So if
and
you can pick it up,
you can pick it up there. So we've got
so it
that
doesn't
function.
look like people don't see you. It can look like you're just picking up any kind of medication. That is an incredible intervention.
Yeah, we have done that as well. So we're very proud of the progress that we've made.
I am thoroughly impressed. I am thoroughly impressed by the significant interventions that are so necessary and targeting the exact issues like within our communities.
Yeah.
What kind of pushbacks or maybe difficulties do you face in like implementing some of these things? You've mentioned funding.
Yeah.
Obviously, like what other?
The human factor, man. The male factor. You know, the patriarchy is a beast that just will not go away. So you're sitting there as a female MMC and you find this department and saying, who do you think you are? Think they're telling me that I can do 1, 2, 3. So, some resistance to change are some of the officials. But then what you must bear in mind is that some of these officials are actually even cadre employees. We found them there and they were employed by the former regime, so to speak. So a lot of resistance that I get in implementing some of the things is the people that are just not wanting to.
So do you feel like they don't take you seriously?
They don't. I fight. I have to fight. And you know, I'm going through some spiritual journey now where I try not to have as much anger. So, but they force me to that level where I say, hey.
Because also, you know, it's I guess maybe also not wanting to be the stereotypical angry woman, but also, I mean, I think
they call me the angry woman or something.
Sometimes it's effective.
No,
sometimes it's effective.
When I have to be angry, I do get angry.
Yes.
But most of the time, I prefer to get things with a smile rather than just to show that other side of me. But I fight to get whatever I want done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how do you cope? Like, I mean, it's a very difficult space to be in. It's a lot of work. You see a lot of things.
Yeah.
That are not easy.
Yeah.
That are traumatizing. That can really affect you as a person. What are the ways in which you cope and which you care for yourself so that you're able to keep showing up?
Prayer.
Okay.
Prayer, because at times you find that, but how can people do this to other people? You know, and you look at yourself and it's not even something within you, because in as much as I would like to change, there are some things that I definitely cannot change. So I pray, I believe in God, I believe in my ancestors, and solutions will find themselves. So I hope that answers your question.
Prayer, I mean, okay. I mean, it sounds too simple.
Does it? No.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's...
when you, there's situations that are beyond you, of people of things that people are doing, even outside your space. So now you don't even have control to say, I can change this, you know? So all you have to do is pray.
So prayer is what allows you to accept that?
Not to accept it, to believe that it will change.
Okay.
You know, it's the belief that it things will change. It's not going to stay like this forever.
Okay. What is your hope? I mean, in the time that you have within this portfolio, and I mean, you've said you've added recreation and parks and sports.
Yeah.
We've spoken mostly about the health and social development part. And these are kind of the newer portfolios.
No, I've always had sports recreation.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's really no funding there. So what I've been doing lately is I've been approaching a private-public partnership where we enter into partnerships with private people with money, sign a memorandum of understanding, still them for them to allow the people to use the pools, but then they will maintain it, fix it, and do whatever. So I'm encouraging the department to actually do that so that at least we've got our facilities that are still running, still in good condition, because the city cannot afford to keep these facilities running. So that's what the project that I'm currently busy with. Hopefully, if we meet again, then I can have better news in terms of where I am with these private-public partnerships.
Okay, so what is the status in Ekurhuleni of sports facilities, recreational facilities?
I'd rather not say. We inherited a lot of facilities that are not in good condition, but slowly and surely we are working to fix those.
To fix that. How do you
think? And the worst part is that we have got youth, that
I was about to ask.
That end up succumbing to substance abuse, whether it be drugs or alcohol or anything, because we do not have enough facilities or proper facilities for them to go and explore karate, explore sport, whatever, sporting code, So we are, as I'm saying, that we are currently working on private-public partnerships to ensure that most of our facilities are up and running.
I did, because I was about to ask, how do you think that has affected the communities, especially the young people who they need recreation. Young people need to be busy with something.
Yeah. And the worst part of it is that now, as the city, you find that they over time is not paid on these facilities where it's kids when they're out of school that they need these premises. When it's weekends they need these premises, but then some of these facilities we've closed because we do not have funds for overtime. So hence I was saying that Shrek is as a non-revenue generating department has really been having it very hard. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think you will. It sounds like the PPP sounds like quite a plan in order to, bring in some funds for those things to happen, because I think they're essential for our youth.
Yeah.
And I like it that you're very passionate about the work you do.
Very. I enjoy it. I enjoy changing lives. I enjoy making a difference. And which is the reason that I actually remember in the first place that I said I joined the EFF. So I'm right at the spot where I feel that I am making a change in people's lives.
In people's lives.
That have been struggling, No, I enjoy that, yeah.
And you're working in Gauteng. You're from Gauteng. We were talking earlier that this has been your home for a few generations now. And how does it feel to be working in the province that you were born in and you grew up in, and that like the back of your hand?
I don't see myself living anywhere else.
Wow.
No, honestly, I've thought about it a lot, that if I were to move, where can I say I could move to? But for me, I love Gauteng. Yeah.
That's
so
great.
I don't see myself anywhere else, yeah.
I would want to know, though, as we are, talking about, we're in Women's Month, and who are some of the women that you find to have inspired you or inspire you, and who you either look up to or whose words you remember and, keep close?
Yeah. I love Dr. Tlaleng Mofokeng.
Yes, our doctor, the EFF's doctor.
I absolutely love Naledi Chira.
Yes, fiery.
I love Maketi Pakeng, I think.
Yes,
Mamuketi Pakeng. Yes, I think for me, And my mother.
Of course. Tell us a bit about your mother. Actually, tell us a bit about your mother. We'll start there.
My mother went through all lengths to ensure that my sister and I, on a single salary, get tertiary education, because I think she knew from the onset that, her children must have everything. So we grew up okay. We're not wealthy or anything, but she ensured that we have everything. She worked for a reinsurance company. And that place now is Luthuli House. It was bought after.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Munich Reinsurance, and now she's at. Now it's Luthuli House, but she retired quite a while ago. They'd moved to Parktown by then. She's a strong woman. She's a resilient woman. She's a woman of prayer. She loves her family. Her best friends are her sisters.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, she's a very important person in my life. Yeah.
Okay, and then the other women you've mentioned, what do you admire about them?
The strength and wanting to change the world. You know how important it is to want to change the status quo.
Yes.
And be a nonconformist, and to set your own rules, and to go for what you want. For me, I think when you look at them, all of them have that same quality.
Do.
Yeah. So
I mean, Dr. Taleng at the UN fighting for reproductive rights, fighting for Palestine, Naledi since fees must fall, and fighting within Parliament.
Yeah.
Mamkheti, being at the top. A vice chancellor and fighting, for a transformed system in education. Those are it truly is inspiring, and I love what you said about just going against the status quo and being passionate about it.
Yeah.
I think you fall within that category yourself.
I'm not there yet. I don't think I'm there yet. I think I will know when I'm there yet, but baby steps,
Baby steps. So where would you like to be? Like you are here now as MMC. Well, where do you see yourself going further?
I would like to see myself making an impact in terms of assisting people's lives at a bigger scale. For me, it's just still a small portfolio in a Kuruleni way. There's really not much change you can affect, So I think I would leave it there.
Okay, we don't want to compromise compromise people, but okay. And where do you see? What would you like to see for women in the EFF?
Can I say women in general?
Women in general. Okay.
Yeah, I would love a women to learn to love themselves. It is important for a woman to love herself, despite of what everybody else thinks. She does not care, because she knows who she is within. I mean, I look at you and I fall in love with you already, because I don't see your artificial hair, the makeup, and that industry is $1 billion industry
the
in
beauty
Africa,
industry,
and we don't even need that, So I would love to see women love themselves, and to love women around them, and not see them as a threat or as a competition, but rather as a companion. Let's hold each other's hands and let's grow together. That's what I would love to see for women in general, and for the women in the EFF. And they must accept their beauty as they are, without any consumerism involved in it, So yeah, that's that.
And the women in the community you serve.
They must vote EFF, and then their lives will change.
I love that. Straight to the point. Vote EFF. I mean, next year is local government elections.
Yeah. People go, they get, they fickle. Lately, they've become so fickle, they don't know where to belong. And the answer and the solution is right here next to them, but they refuse to see it. But what I'm happy about is everybody that I've had an encounter with, I've managed to change without even telling them to vote EFF, but because of my deeds,
Yes.
already they are going to be voting EFF. So I think that is a difference that I myself have made in that regard.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm excited that you are doing incredible work and representing the EFF immensely. Honestly, it is that spirit of care and community and serving and servant leadership that that the EFF is all about. So I'm glad that you are putting in the work in order to make a difference in people's lives. And I always say that put a woman in politics and it's like put a woman in leadership, and so much changes because women have the ability to really focus on building communities.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining us for this podcast. You've heard yourself, a woman in politics, a woman in the EFF, passionate and intentional in the work that she does. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation as much as I have and learned a lot. And remember, she says, vote EFF, local government elections. Thank you.
Thank you.